Hey guys, it's Tony Baldwin from Warrior.do, and I want to welcome you guys to today's training webinar here. And I'm just looking at the numbers here, and I'm pretty sure we're going to max out the line today, which is always a good thing. It means you guys are interested, excited, and that gets me super pumped up to give you guys some amazing information today. Now, really quick, I want to make sure that you guys can see my screen right here. So if you can see my screen, just let me know over at the chat box to the right of this this video right here. And just type in anything random just for me to see that you guys can see my screen. All right, awesome. You guys can see it. Sweet. So we're gonna have a lot of fun today, guys. And for me to have a lot of fun, I need you guys to be participating with me because, I really thrive off of interaction. So throughout this time, I'm gonna be asking you guys some questions, and just please go to that discussion box and just message me there. And that way, we'll have a chance to interact throughout this time, and it'll be a lot more fun. Now, like I was saying, I'm super excited for you guys to be here. I really appreciate you guys jumping on today. And we got a lot of people still logging in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do talk for a little bit longer. We're going to do some introductions, and then we're just going to dive right into the content because I got a lot to cover, and we're going to go through it really fast. So, if you guys, I don't know if you guys have been on any of my trainings before, but you know that I get super excited and I talk kind of fast. So if you guys have a pen and paper handy, make sure you guys are taking notes. Also, and this is super, super important, if you guys are on Facebook or Skype or texting people, just turn that stuff off for the next 90 minutes. Just turn off Skype and Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, just so we have a good 90 minutes just to focus here. And that's the time that I'd recommend blocking out. But, I promise you that I'm going to give you an education that took me many, many years to learn, and I'm going to give it to you guys for free in about 90 minutes. And I promise it'll be worth your time. It's not going to be slow or dull or boring. The second that we begin, which is any moment now, we're going to be moving really, really fast and covering some really, really cool things. So that's kind of the game plan. So I'm super excited to get started. And yeah, I think we're ready to get going. So, with all that said, my goal with all this is to transform the lives of 1,000 people by giving them the tools to unlock their innate ability to focus. Focus, if you think about it, it's linked to practically every area of your life, from your career to your relationships to even your health. So I believe that, if I can help these 1,000 people learn to essentially hack their ability to focus, then I would have made a really positive dent in the universe, and that would make this all worth it. So, that's exactly what this presentation is all about. If you think about it, learning to concentrate, it's difficult. If you've ever tried something like meditation, for example, just how difficult it can be to cage, that monkey mind of yours. So, in this presentation, I'm going to be giving you the tools to essentially just cage this monkey, clear mental fog, and focus on whatever it is that's important to you and whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So, and if you stay until the end of this presentation, just as a reward, just as a thank you for staying on with me, I'm going to be giving you a special gift, which is an audio track that'll actually sync your brainwaves into a state of focus within a matter of minutes. Literally, just press play, and within 6-7 minutes, you're going to be sunk into just this focused state. This track itself is worth over $100. And I mean, if you look on our website right now, we haven't released it to our audience yet. So you're going to have first access to this. You get it for free just for staying until the end. So if you need to get rid of mental distractions, or if you need to be super focused to get a particular task done, literally just put the headphones on, press play, and the technology embedded in the track will actually sync your brain waves into a state of focus. And it's actually the track I was listening to when I was creating the slides for this presentation that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So again, you're going to get that at the end of this webinar, just a special thank you from me. Now, what makes this different? What makes the presentation I'm going to be showing to you unique from all the other content online? So what I'm going to share with you today is different from all the stuff you've probably read about online on how to increase focus and mental clarity. Because by now, I'm sure that you've already heard, all of the obvious things that you can do, which I'm not going to be talking about today. So, I'm not going to be talking about how to practice mindfulness meditation to increase focus. That's kind of the tried and true path. I'm not going to be talking about consuming certain nootropics or supplements or medication. I'm not going to be talking about, binaural beats or listening to certain music to focus your mind. What I'm going to be showing you is radically different from what you'll hear about on Focus. The technique I'm about to show you is something that I discovered actually not too long ago, but has become a literal game changer in my ability to concentrate. It's a little known technique that's actually been used by super high performers, like people like the Navy SEALs, people like Silicon Valley CEOs. You've got Olympic athletes, F1 race car drivers. Some of the top professional golfers in the world have used this technique. Then you have some of the most successful soccer clubs in the world, like AC Milan, Real Madrid, Chelsea. They've used this technique. And of course, NASA astronauts have used what I'm about to show you to increase their focus. These organizations, these people that I've just listed, who are literally at the top 1% of their fields, where focus is so critical to their success. These people have all turned to the technique that I'm about to tell you to help them achieve states of not only focus but like hyper focus. And it's something that I'm super excited to share with you today. Now, before we get into this, a little bit about me. So my name is Tony Balbin, and I'm the guy behind Warrior.do, which is a popular resource online that shares tools and tactics and methods to upgrade the mind at the intersection of science, spirit, and technology. And over the past few years, I've been lucky enough to literally just travel the world full time on a mission to explore the world's most powerful mind hacking technology. So this is things like plant medicines like ayahuasca, giving 7 years of therapy in a single night, or things like brainwave technology that hacks meditation, or ancient breathing practices that can place you in states of tranquility really, really quickly and reliably. Now, we have thousands of loyal readers all over the world coming to Warrior.do that looking for those little known hacks and tools and methods to get more out of their minds. And you might be asking, why am I personally so obsessed with this idea of mind hacking? So a few years back, I was on vacation in the beautiful island of Bali. And if you've never been to the island before, it's really known to have some of the best waves in the world for surfing. And personally, I've always wanted to learn how to surf. I grew up in a small town outside of Chicago where there was no waves, no ocean, nothing like that. So while I was in Bali, I figured this was a great of a time as any to learn how to surf. So I bought a surfboard. I had a few lessons, and within a few days, it's kind of cool. I was starting to stand up on my board. And then one morning, I drove out to the shore, just like every other day, and I noticed that the waves were just a little bit bigger than normal. And at the time, I was still a beginner, but I figured I was still skilled enough to surf them. This turned out to be a terrible move, because later that day, a massive wave came my way and it flung me off my board, which eventually flung my board past my body, and one of the fins of the board actually slashed my head in the process. Now, what was supposed to be a few days of recovery, it morphed into a few weeks and then into a few months, and I was actually diagnosed with post-traumatic brain injury. And I don't know if you've ever had brain injury before, but the recovery process, it involves like practically removing anything and everything that could stimulate your brain. So that means no social time, no books, no music, no TV, no movies, like literally nothing. So for the months, like the 5 months I was recovering, I literally laid alone in my bedroom with blindfolds over my eyes and earplugs in my ears, and it was terrible. And then one day things got dramatically worse. So it got to the point where I could barely walk from one end of the bedroom to the other. So at that point, I got kind of freaked out. I hopped in the cab, went to my neurologist's office, and I just remember like sitting in the cab, and like it was really scary images of me being like permanently brain damaged. It just entered my mind. I thought, maybe I wouldn't be able to work again, or would I need a caretaker the rest of my life? So, I was really, really anxious heading to the doctor's office. But, I eventually got there, and when the doctor sat down with me, she said, Tony, we've done all the scans and tests possible on your brain. Your brain actually looks like it's healing just fine. In fact, I'm surprised that you're experiencing these symptoms that you're telling me about. Thing is, pain, it's highly subjective. And at this point, based off of everything that we've seen, everything you're experiencing, it just seems to be the result of your mind. And here's the thing, as those words came out of her mouth, like I immediately felt just this profound shift inside of me. Something happened where the pain vanished, like sensitivity to light vanished, the pain around my temples subsided, and I just was like so embarrassed by the whole, basically like the song and dance I did like leading up to that point. And I realized like my state of mind, it like literally twisted and turned my view of reality to the point where I physically felt pain that wasn't actually there. And at that moment, I realized how immensely powerful our minds are. One moment I was in intense pain, the other moment it vanished, and the only difference was what was going on in my head. And I just remember having like this huge aha moment. And after that, I became like obsessed with the brain. So like I was saying, it took me about 5 months of rest, but my brain eventually healed and I was back on my feet, thankfully. But at that point, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to not only heal my brain, I wanted to supercharge it. So I devoured every book I can get my hands on things like brain performance and psychology and neuroscience. And I sought out advice from world's leading researchers in neuroscience. I traveled the world as a human guinea pig, experimenting with every mind hacking tool you can think of, obsessively trying to answer a really simple question, which is this: what are the simplest things that you can do to get more out of your brain? And in terms of this presentation, what are the simplest things that you can do to become more focused? And throughout the last few years on my journey to essentially to hack my brain, I've done a lot of things right and I've done a lot of things wrong. And, at the end of the day, looking back, I took the approach most people take when trying to learn to improve their focus, which is the hard way. So what is the hard way? So I bought hundreds of dollars of supplements and nootropics that didn't work. I bought brain enhancing devices and different technology that didn't work. I enrolled in a bunch of different brain training programs that didn't work. I got a coach to help me to, enhance my focus and the mindset, which didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. And, I did the tried and true path to increase your focus and mental clarity, which is different breathing exercises and mindfulness meditation, which, is a lot of work and it didn't move the needle as well as I'd hoped. So, these are things, all these things are what most people do when they try to learn to improve their focus. And at the end of the day, it's hard, it's frustrating, and it can be really, really expensive on your time and on your money and on your energy. So the good news for you today is that there's a much easier way to enhance your ability to concentrate. And I believe that I've cracked this code of focus. And it's not something that I actually invented or thought of myself. I found out that high performers like Navy SEALs, Olympic athletes, NASA astronauts, these high performers were using a very simple technique that made achieving states of hyperfocus easy, effortless, and actually without any work, which is awesome. And, it's all the stuff that we love. So, after doing this for 3+ years, I discovered the hard way. But today, you guys, I'm so excited for you guys because you get a chance to cheat and get it the easy way. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys want the easy way? If you want the easy way, let me know in the chat box. Awesome. Sweet. Yeah, so you guys want the easy way. That's awesome. So cool. I'm the same way. I like it the easy way, so that's kind of the game plan. So let's dive into this. 3 secrets. So in today's presentation, I'm going to cover 3 secrets. So if you've got a pad of paper and a pen, now is the time to write these things down. So secret number 1, why Navy SEALs, NASA astronauts, and Olympic athletes are using neurofeedback to achieve states of hyperfocus. How many of you guys want to learn that secret right here? All right, cool. We'll definitely talk about that then. Okay, secret number 2, how to train your mind to become to focus like a Tibetan monk in 11 hours or less using neurofeedback. And secret number 3, how to gain access to a $10,000 neurofeedback machine for a fraction of the cost. So The thing is, I've been mentioning neurofeedback here. So if you have zero clue about neurofeedback, don't worry. I'm going to explain what it is really, really quickly, really shortly. So it's all going to make sense really, really soon. So how many of you guys want to learn these secrets right here? Yeah, sweet. So we're going to cover all these three really, really shortly. So secret number one, why Navy SEALs, NASA astronauts, and Olympic athletes are using neurofeedback to achieve states of hyperfocus. So the first thing you need to understand, and this is something I learned from Tony Robbins, he said that if you want to achieve success, all you need to do is find a way to model those who have already succeeded. If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. So when I was in high school and when I was in college, I was actually hilariously bad when it came to dating. Like I was awful with the opposite sex. So whenever I was around a girl that I liked, I'd fumble over my words, like my palms would get super sweaty, and like I would be super, super awkward just to be around. And it wasn't fun. It was very, very lonely for many, many years, and I don't recommend that. So when I was in college, I found a few guys who had successful dating lives. And, I put my ego aside and I went up to them and I asked them, hey, can I pick your brain? And that's what I did. I picked their brain and I just modeled what they were doing. And in a short period of time, I went from having a terrible dating life to having a really fantastic dating life. And, it all happened because I found those who were successful and I modeled them. So the same thing is true when it comes to learning how to focus. You got to find someone who already has the ability to focus far better than the average person, and you just got to model what they do. And it's funny, like every time I do this presentation, I always get someone who comes to me afterwards and they say, Tony, I figured out, a great way to hack my brain. I have this new supplement or nootropic or breathing exercise or a new coach to help me improve my focus, and I want to show you how it works. And, it's funny, for all those people, I always tell them the same thing. I say, look, you can always tell who the pioneers are because they have arrows in their back and they're lying face down in the dirt. As cool as it sounds to have the latest nootropic or mind focusing exercise, you want to follow the proven path towards whatever outcome you want. You don't want to be a pioneer. Like this quote says, pioneers are actually the ones with the arrows in their back. So a few years back, I started a podcast called Warrior.do, really, really popular podcast where I had the great fortune to interview some of the world's highest performers. These are award-winning scientists and researchers and thought leaders and people at the top of their field. Now, these are people who have literally mastered their minds. Their ability to focus is not like a normal person's ability. Now, these are people who have tried every supplement, every technique, every trick in the book to hack the brain and focus better. And at the end of each show, I made it a point when we stopped recording, I just asked them, what's the one tip or trick or technique or method that you personally use to get more out of your brain? And here's the thing, I was blown away that they regularly told me that about a technology called neurofeedback. And it's funny, I remember sitting there the first time I heard it, I was like, what the heck is neurofeedback? So I did some digging, and it turns out it's funny, like most folks have never even heard of this technique. But what's interesting is that the few that do and the few that actually implement it are really, really high performers. So these are people like Alexander Bilodeau, who's the Canadian men's mogul champion. He credited his gold medal to neurofeedback, this person to the left. The NHL's Vancouver Canucks, so they went on a 20-year postseason drought, and they went on to win the 2011 Stanley Cup championship after 20 years. And again, they credited neurofeedback for their success. And then you got, clubs like the Italian national soccer team. So they won the 2006 World Cup. And again, they credited neurofeedback for them winning the World Cup, which is awesome. So, when I heard about all the top performers in the world using neurofeedback, I was reminded of that advice by Tony Robbins. And I just remember sitting there, thinking, wow, like, why would I try and reinvent the wheel? I just have to model what these high performers are doing. If the Navy SEALs are doing it, if NASA astronauts are doing it, if Silicon Valley CEOs are using neurofeedback, then I should just do that too. So I know you might be asking, what is neurofeedback? So to explain what it is, it'll just be easier if I tell you a story. So when I was in college, I was like really, really skilled at being distracted. Like that was my superpower, just being able to not do the things I needed to do. So say if I had like a paper due Friday morning, Thursday night, I'd sit down to write my paper. I'd have my Red Bull at hand. I'd shut my dorm room door, so I'd be alone, and it was go time. And I remember like it would happen all the time. Like within seconds, my mind would just wander off. And like I'd be in this daze, and then like 30 minutes later, I'd wake up from this daze, and then by the time I knew it, I was like scouring IMDb looking for like the last movies by Will Ferrell or like something super random like that. And like, and it's funny, like when I think of neurofeedback, I think of it like this: like, what if you had an assistant that had like a magical ability to keep an eye on your wandering mind? So this assistant would basically like stay on guard and just signal to you the moment your mind started to drift away. So in my case, so if I was supposed to write my paper, and the moment I started thinking about like Will Ferrell, the assistant would say to me, "Hey, Tony, like your mind's drifted. Get back on track." Well, this assistant is essentially what neurofeedback is and what it's all about. So if you think of your brain, it's a very complex system. Billions of neurons, trillions of neural connections, billions of things going on all at once in your brain. And what neurofeedback measures is the electrical activity moment to moment of your brain. So for you technical geeks out there like me, neurofeedback measures your brain waves. And when the right things happen, like when your brain is in a state of focus, the neurofeedback system tells you, good job, brain, keep doing that. And when the wrong things happen, that signal is withheld. So with neurofeedback training over time, the brain, it's conditioned to be in a state of focus more and more, where if you do it enough, eventually like this state just becomes your default state. Like if you think about focus as a muscle, then this is like advanced ninja training that strengthens this muscle quickly, easily, more than any other technique that I've personally come across, which is really why I'm so fired up about neurofeedback. So just to wrap up, secret number one. This is my number one secret. I tell people if they want to hack their focus, it's neurofeedback. Don't reinvent the wheel. Like if the Navy SEALs are using it, NASA astronauts are using it, PGA golfers are using it, it works. So don't reinvent the wheel, go with neurofeedback. Now, secret number two, how to focus like a Tibetan monk in 11 hours or less using neurofeedback. So when I first heard about neurofeedback, as you could tell, I was like super pumped. The world's top performers were using it to hack their focus, and like I wanted in. But to be honest, I was like super overwhelmed with like because there was a number of roadblocks that was stopping me from using it in my own life. So I didn't know a thing about like neuroscience. I knew a little bit about it, but nothing really. I didn't know a thing about any of the technical aspects of the technology of neurofeedback. I didn't know how I was going to even get my hands on a device because they're super expensive. They could be like $10, $20, $30,000 or more. And even if I did find a way to get it, I didn't have the skills or the knowledge or the expertise to use it. And I remember I'd go to the library and I'd browse all these different books on neurofeedback, and they were all written in this super like scientific language, so that didn't really make sense. And at the end of the day, all I wanted was to use neurofeedback to improve my focus. I wasn't trying to get a PhD in neuroscience. So, and on top of that, there was like dozens of different systems out there, all of which again are super expensive. So I didn't know where to start, and I felt like super, super overwhelmed when I got into this whole world. And then I found out about a system called Neuroptimal, which has made the technology that's as sophisticated as neurofeedback. It's made it super accessible to regular folks like you and me, and it's made it so, so incredibly easy and as powerful as it gets. So within 11 hours of using Neuroptimal, you can rewire your brain for hyperfocus without having to buy expensive equipment or know a thing about neuroscience. And here's the thing, without having to risk a thing. It's 100% natural and safe. So how does neurooptimal work? How does this technology actually, what's the mechanics behind it? So at the heart of neurooptimal is a proprietary technology that's amazing. It takes advantage of the brain's innate ability to self-correct. So let me give you an illustration from the creator of neurooptimal, Dr. Valdine Brown. And hopefully this will paint a better picture of why I'm so excited about this particular system. So think of it this way. When a baby learns to walk, you don't actually really need to do much. Like the baby naturally learns to crawl and then naturally stands and walks all on their own. And they really just figure it out by exploring, trial and error. And in fact, as adults, we can get in their way if we just try to overteach them. These kids, these babies, they'll naturally figure it out. Well, this is at the core of how neurooptimal works. So if you think of your central nervous system, it does two things really, really well. Number one, it detects difference. And number two, it works to minimize its discomfort. Now, with neurooptimal neurofeedback, we're holding a mirror up to the brain, metaphorically, a metaphorical mirror up to the brain. And when the brain is about to change states in any unstable way, so whether that's losing focus or feeling anxiety or stress, neurooptimal, it gives you that feedback right in that moment. And the system actually measures the activity of your brain 256 times a second. So on a millisecond level, the system can detect if your brain is about to switch to a disordered state. And once it does this, it presents you with this information on what the brain has just done. And once the brain sees that something is, either inefficient or something that's uncomfortable, it naturally shifts states. Now, it's just like learning to walk. The brain finds its own way to self-correct itself. So you might be asking, like, what does a session look like? So in a neurooptimal training session, two sensors are attached to your scalp, and a few ear clips are attached to your ears. And what you do is you basically just sit back, and you literally, all you have to do is listen to music from the neurooptimal device. And when the system detects that your brain is about to change states in any unstable way, like I was saying, feedback's given to you in the form of music pausing. So music pauses. So what's that all about? So the music pausing, it actually triggers an orienting response in your brain. So think of it this way. When you go to the doctor and they check your reflexes, so they might tap on your knee and you get that knee-jerk reaction, knee-jerk reflex. Well, your brain, it actually has its own type of reflexes. And one of these reflexes is called the orienting response, and it's actually auditory. So when this reflex is triggered, when the music pauses, the brain actually shifts to a more stable state instantaneously. It's amazing. It's actually done on a subconscious level, so you aren't consciously doing anything. And over time, it learns to stay in this optimal state more and more, where eventually, again, it just becomes your default state. And the amazing thing with neurooptimal is not only does it rewire your brain for hyperfocus, you might notice some other awesome benefits. So these are things like improved sleep, reduced stress. You might find yourself more self-confident, enhanced learning capacity. If emotional and physical resilience is important to you, this will dramatically enhance that. And it boosts immune system, which is amazing. Now, if you think of each brain, it has its own unique way to self-correct. And neurooptimal, it just takes advantage of this natural process in your brain. And that's why it's been used by a wide array of different applications out there. So I want to show you really quick a compilation video that was put together by some of the trainers over at Neurooptimal. So these are people who actually deliver this technology to people all over the world. And they've literally seen miracles being share with you that right now. So I'm going to put that on. We're going to play it. And it's just loading right now. Let's see. Loading. So these are people that have been all over the world. They've delivered it to people who want to increase focus or change a behavior or get better sleep. And
we see miracles, and we expect miracles every day. Paris.
I'm from New York.
Perth in Western Australia.
I'm from the Netherlands.
The most rewarding thing about being an optimal trainer is observing the sometimes big, sometimes small miracles happening in people's lives.
You get to pass this fun experience to other people.
Relieving suffering.
Witnessing what feels like the miraculous transformation.
Seeing the delight in people when something subtle changes that they thought would never change.
I knew brain training was working when I saw tremendous changes in my client in a short period of time.
When I could think clearly all of a sudden and finish writing that speech.
When I could sleep through the night.
I knew brain training was working when I experienced that I was more spontaneous.
When I was able to focus and concentrate.
Neurofeedback is my pet passion.
My companion.
Neurofeedback is my passion.
My passion.
Wow. My sanctuary.
My answer.
My passion.
That's a really odd question.
You relax, come out, you're able to see what's going on in the world around you. It's my passion.
Well, I would say neurofeedback makes life better.
Life better.
Life better.
Everything.
Everything better.
Neurofeedback makes our ability to process and integrate life experience, which drives our growth and development in the world, better beyond imagination.
And just seeing how these people have talked so just so openly about neurofeedback, it just makes me so excited about this technology. Now, one of the first questions I get when I tell people about NeuroOptimal is, is it safe? And that's a really important question. So let me tell you a story that is kind of related to this sort of issue. So I recently bought a book called Play It Away, and it's by an author called Charlie Hoehn. And he actually used to work for Tim Ferriss. I don't know if you know Tim Ferriss is, but New York Times bestselling author. He wrote 4 Hour Work Week, 4 Hour Body, and a whole bunch of other massive successful books. And in Charlie's book, he actually talks about how he was working with Tim. It was actually his dream job. And at the time, he and Tim were actually leading a conference they put together called Opening the Kimono. So in this conference, it was 130 authors and entrepreneurs from all over the world. They came to this conference and they all paid $10,000 a piece to get in. And Charlie, this was a big opportunity for him. He didn't want to screw this up. So he actually went online. He visited one of those overseas pharmaceutical websites, and he ordered one of the most powerful brain nootropics on the market that not a lot of people know about. But I don't know if you've ever seen the Limitless, the movie, but it's literally like the Limitless pill in real life. And it arrived before the event, and he took it every morning. And after that, he was on. He stayed focused, alert, wide awake for the entire event. I think he said that he slept 6 hours in 4 days, just working like a madman. And the event went great. It was awesome. Attendees were glowing. Tim, his boss, was super pleased with his work. But when he got home, he noticed his body started sending him all these emergency signals. His heart was racing, his vision was blurred, his head he had a pounding headache for days, and he could barely stand upright. And he eventually got so burnt out after taking this smart drug that he had to quit working for Tim because it was just too much. So why do I bring this up? Safety is so incredibly important when you are dealing with anything regarding with your brain. You know, like, there are so many nootropics, supplements, hacking gadgets out there that you want to be 100% sure that what you are doing is safe. And that's one of the reasons I love neurofeedback, especially Neuroptimal, because it's 100% safe. You know, it's free of any side effects. With Neuroptimal, you're not actually doing anything to the brain. You know, you're just giving the brain information. There's no chemicals involved, no side effects. The FDA has actually approved Neuroptimal for relaxation training. And remember how we talked about earlier how you don't want to be the pioneer. You know, the pioneers are the ones lying down, face down, with arrows in their back. Well, with Neuroptimal, like, you're taking the tried and true path. That's because the system as a whole has actually logged over 3 million hours of use throughout the world. So, you know, like, they pretty much like perfected their system at this point. And on top of this, it's developed by Dr. Valdine Brown and his wife, who have over 40 years of clinical psychology experience. And on top of this, the American Pediatric Academy has endorsed neurofeedback as best practice for the treatment of ADHD and ADD, which, as you know, is linked to focus. So, you know, we talked a little bit about, you know, how safe this technology is, but with Neuroptimal, if you think about it, you're just listening to music that'll have brief micro pauses in the sound. So, you know, with that said, most people would agree that listening to music that skips every once in a while isn't the riskiest thing in the world, because, you know, it's not risky. It's 100% safe. Now, you know, some people think that sensors being placed on their scalp, and they freak out and they think, you know, this would be some electrical brain stimulation or something like that. And that's not at all what neurofeedback, Neuroptimal is. You know, the sensors that you actually place on your scalp, they only receive electrical information from your brain. You know, it doesn't send anything itself to the brain. So no electricity is being put into the brain. You're not going to be electrocuting yourself. Don't worry about that. It only measures, it doesn't feed back to you. So there's nothing you have to worry about. Now, another reason I love Neuroptimal is just how freaking easy it is to use. So no matter your age, no matter your background, no matter, you know, what challenges you're facing, Neuroptimal has shown to be one of the most effective systems to enhance brain function. So I remember when I was in college, I really actually wanted to be a music producer. That was my dream back then. In high school, I was a DJ. I loved music my whole life, and I was obsessed with making dance tracks back then. And it's funny, I formed a little music production group with my best friends at college at the time. And I remember us, you know, we were broke college kids, but one summer we worked like really, really hard at our summer jobs, and we saved up together to get this like super, super expensive synthesizer at the time. Like all the big producers in the industry were using it. And I could create these like amazing sounds, and I thought it would be like take our tracks like to the next level. And we forked over like all of this money to get the hardware. And guess what? We hardly ever used it. Why? Because it was so freaking complex. Like, we didn't know how to use it. There was hundreds of different knobs and buttons, and I had no clue what they did. So it didn't even matter how powerful the hardware was. You know, if we didn't know how to use it, what good was it, right? So I bring this up because with neurofeedback, you know, it's typically super complicated. You know, you need specialized knowledge, specialized skill, and very expensive equipment. Well, one reason I absolutely love Neuroptimal is how easy it is to use. So we talked about earlier, you know, that we all like the easy route at the end of the day. You know, if we had the choice between doing something hard or doing something easy, most of us would choose the easy way. Well, that's what Neuroptimal is. It's the easy way. Like with Neuroptimal, all you have to do is sit back, listen to the music, and when the music stops, your brain naturally falls back into the moment and gets into a state of focus. It's completely unconscious. And that translates into no work on your end. So there's no conscious effort you actually have to do. You know, you just sit back, hit the start button, and your brain naturally worked itself out. You know, on an unconscious level, it'll naturally fall back into a state of presence, into a state of focus, which is amazing. And, you know, you don't need to know a thing about neuroscience or neurofeedback or any of the technical aspects of the equipment. Like with Neuroptimal, there's only 3 items in the system. So there's the computer, an amplifier, and the sensors, and that's it. And there's only 3 buttons that you need to press on the computer once you have the software open. So, things like learning to place sensors on your scalp, it's really, really easy. You can learn it in just a few minutes. So it's so easy. A kid could run the sessions. And, you can, what's amazing about this is you can do it from the comfort of your own home. So you don't need to go to the clinic or the training centers or visit some specialist. You don't need to do any of that. You can literally sit on your couch or watch TV if you want and have a session at home. It's amazing. And like I was saying, it's so easy, like a little kid could use it. And it's funny, like a lot of parents are actually turning to NeuroOptimal to help with their kids. So I wanted to show you a video by a woman by the name of Angela. And Angela, she actually used NeuroOptimal to help with her kids' behavioral issues. And I want to show you a video of Angela who used NeuroOptimal to completely transform her daughter's behavior. So I'm going to play that right now.
Constant notes, Mila hit so-and-so. Other children seem to follow rules a lot better than Mila. She really does have a problem with people telling her what to do. And sometimes you just can't question me. If I'm telling you a rule, it's for safety, and you have to understand that, and I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to parent you. Well, it's extremely frustrating to never have a moment of calm. Putting her on any medication is just not something I ever intend to do. So my end of day discussion with my husband now, compared to how it once was how good was Mila today rather than how bad was Mila today. And it's just so nice. They're no longer finding it necessary to have a behavioral therapist sit in with Mila, just because her behavior has just improved so drastically. So her night terrors went down from 6 times a month to about 1 time. Once a month, yeah. For the first time ever, I heard giggling in her sleep, so that was really nice to hear. I'm so pleased about this NeuroOptimal because Mila is herself. She has not changed her characteristics. She's just a better version of herself. It just makes my life a lot easier. I don't have a child that I'm constantly arguing with, fighting, NeuroOptimal has changed my life at home drastically in the way that it's just a much more peaceful environment now.
Hi, hello, I'm Govert Viergever. I'm rower in the Dutch national Olympic team, and I've been using the Zengar NeuroOptimal system for now about 8 weeks. And I've been wanting to try the system because I wanted to improve my mental performance during my racing and training. And my experience so far have been very positive. I've experienced more calmness during my daily life. So I felt that stress is not affecting me that much anymore since I've been doing the NeuroOptimal training. So that has a positive effect on my daily life, and also that means recovery. So that was a positive experience for me, and it also affected the amount of nervousness that I felt before a race. So I could go in the race more relaxed, with a more relaxed focus, and not stressing about the outcome as much as I would used to do. So these are two very positive things that I've experienced while training with the neurooptimal system, and I would I would recommend it to other athletes, definitely. So thank you, Neurooptimal, and thank you, Zangar, for letting me use this system, and I hope it will bring me medals in the future. Thank you.
Another athlete that used Neurooptimal. So Stephen G. Hamming, he was actually the 2014 CrossFit champion, and he actually used Neurooptimal to help train his mind for his competition. And he says this, he says, I was able to add 15 pounds to my personal record, PR. And it's considered normal to add 5 pounds to a PR, but I added 15 pounds. And the results of our neurofeedback training strategy were multiple. You know, I competed free of performance anxiety. I slept great across all days of the competition. Felt a serene ability to focus on my workouts while able to stay calm and maintain my physical training plan. And for 3 days of grueling workouts, I felt completely fresh each day. So, you know, these really are, this story is why I'm so fired up about neurofeedback, especially Neurooptimal. Another reason I'm fired up about it is because the results are like super fast. You know, if you're a parent out there, you know, maybe think of it this way. Like if you've been to Disney World, like, have you ever been standing in line, one of those super long lines in one of the parks to get into a ride that you want to go to? And like you're sitting there, you're hot, you're sweaty, and the line's moving slow. And then you see like a family who has they were smart and they bought one of those fast pass tickets, and they just walk straight past the line and go straight into the ride. And you're just sitting there like, oh crap. Well, that's what Neurooptimal is like. It gives you a fast pass to skip the work you'd normally have to go through to strengthen that focus muscle in your mind. You know, everybody's results are going to be a little bit different with Neurooptimal. So with a single, each session is 33 and a half minutes long. And with a single session, you know, some people, they'll feel incredible life-changing results. And, you know, most other people don't feel that much at all, but most people do feel some difference within the first session. But, you know, around 5 to 10 session, this is where folks really start to notice noticeable shifts. And the most robust results typically happen when you do right around 20 sessions or more. And that's normally the rule of thumb. 20 seems to be the sweet spot where the results really, really start to show. And that is what brings me back to this secret number 2, how to focus like a Tibetan monk in 11 hours or less using neurofeedback. So say it takes you about 20 sessions to like essentially supercharge your focus. And at 33 and a half minutes per session, that comes out to 11 hours. So if I were to tell you in about 11 hours of literally no work, where you just have to sit down and listen to music, that you could transform your brain's ability to focus, you know, most people, if you tell them that, they beat a path to your doorway with those kinds of results. So, you know, that's kind of how fast results are with Neurooptimal. You know, so really you can drop the supplements, you can drop the nootropics, you can skip the hundreds, like if not thousands of hours of grueling mindfulness meditation that you would have to go through to even see a glimpse of these types of results. You know, in about 11 hours of neurofeedback training, you know, you can have an optimized brain. So I want to tell you a few stories of some people that have used this and saw like really fast results. So here's a story from Nur Siada, who was actually a gold medalist in archery in the Kuala Lumpur 2017 Southeast Asian Paragames. And she used Neurooptimal to help with her mind, to help train her mental state for her competitions. And she got success only after her 4th session. And she said, I had an opportunity to undergo a dynamic neurofeedback system to help jumpstart my brain and mind. When I was first introduced to Neurooptimal, I was a bit skeptical on the idea. You know, how does it work? Will I have any side effects on my brain, etc.? But I decided to give it a shot, and today is my 4th session, and I could feel some effects on my body and mind. You know, I'm feeling calmer, relaxed, generally having a productive practice most of the time. I'm looking forward for my upcoming sessions, and hopefully this will improve my performance on the field. Now, here's another high performer named Tim Astrologo, who actually won the middleweight class in I think it's the Canadian fitness competition. And he says, although I had only 6 or 7 sessions, I did feel my focus was stronger and I had much less anxiety while on stage doing my routine poses. I believe it certainly helped me win first place in my class in the provincial bodybuilding competition. So, at the end of the day, this is why I'm fired up about NeuroOptimal. It gets results quick, easy, and fast. So within 11 hours of training, you can see dramatic results in your ability to focus. Now, secret number 3, how to gain access to a $10,000 neurofeedback machine for a fraction of the cost. So when I heard about NeuroOptimal and neurofeedback, I was super excited. And, it was a plug-and-play system, super easy to use, didn't need any prior knowledge or experience to run it. Anyone could use it, and 11 hours of training, you're good to go. I was sold. Now, the next roadblock for me that I came across was how in the hell was I going to get my hands on the system? NeuroOptimal, it's incredible, but it's not cheap. The professional system costs $10,995. But if you think about it, what's your brain worth? What's your health worth? What is it worth to have a higher performing mind? I understand the price tag, it's justifiable, but for me personally, I couldn't afford it at the time, so I didn't know what to do. And then I thought of my friend Matt. So Matt is a friend of mine I've known for years, and I noticed that he kept posting these amazing professional level photos of on his Facebook profile. It looked like something out of a magazine. He had these photos that looked like something out of a magazine of his family and daughters, of them being on vacation, Disney World, etc. And one day I just, I asked him, I said, Matt, I know you're not a photographer. What are you doing to get these amazing photos? How are you doing this? And Matt said to me, he said, Tony, it's all about the lens. If you have a high quality professional level lens, you can take incredible photos super easily. And I said, that's great, that's awesome, but how are you affording these lenses? Some of these lenses cost over $10,000. And he said to me, Tony, here's the secret. I don't buy the camera lens. My wife would kill me if I bought a $10,000 camera lens. I just actually rent it the day I need it. So, if it's my daughter's birthday, he says he just goes to the camera store and he asks the owner if he could rent it for the day. And then boom, just like that, he's got access to this high-end professional level lens at a fraction of the cost. And that's when I had this huge aha moment. When I figured, or I thought to myself, when I've traveled to different cities in the past, I didn't buy a brand new car for the city. I just rented one for a few days. And recently I helped my parents with some housework, and we needed to get one of those really high pressure, industrial level water blasters. And we didn't buy one. Those things can run, again, for tens of thousands of dollars. We just rented one out for the day for $40. So, if renting works for all these scenarios, I thought that maybe it could work for NeuroOptimal too. So, like I was saying, 20 sessions seems to be the sweet spot for most NeuroOptimal users. So I just needed to find access to the system to get my 20 sessions in. So I actually called up a local training center who delivers NeuroOptimal sessions at a per cost price. And I asked the owner, I know you don't usually do this, but can I rent it from you? And she looked at me and she said, I've never done anything like this before, but I have some units lying around that aren't really doing anything. Yeah, sure, why not? And that's how I kind of hacked the system. I got access to the super high-end, super sophisticated technology for a fraction of the cost. And it's funny, I've shared this hack with a friends and family of mine, and I've actually seen entire families rent out the NeuroOptimal systems together. So when you do this, it makes it super economical, because not only are you benefiting from the system, but each of your family members are now. So that's awesome. So if you have a child that has trouble focusing, or if you have a spouse that wants better mental performance at work, or struggling with bad sleep or anxiety, or wants to be more resilient to stress, things like that, then everyone in the family can have access to this neurooptimal system while you're renting it. And, you know, at the end of the day, anyone with a brain can benefit from the system. You know, you can that's why when you have a whole family training with it and they're benefiting from it, you know, it gets massively transformative on a group level and it gets very economical. So let me tell you a story about Caitlin she's actually from Hawaii, and she rented a neurooptimal system to not only help with her son who had night terrors, but she used it for herself to improve, to help with her resilience during a really, really difficult divorce that she was going through. And she found it super, super economical to actually to rent it out for her and her son. So let me get that up right now. And you're going to hear about her story, which is really, really inspiring.
My name's Caitlin Cochran. I'm from the Big Island in Kona. When my son was 4 months old, he was starting to having night terrors. We decided to run him on Neurooptimal, and his night terrors disappeared after a couple sessions. It seems to calm him down and kind of take him down a pace, and that helps a lot. As a mother, especially, I would do neurofeedback before looking into medication with my son and recommend to other people doing that because it is natural. It's all coming from yourself. So you're not putting anything foreign in, and you know that there aren't any side effects. As time has gone on, Brendan, my son, has grown to like neurofeedback. He will get into our neurofeedback chair and he'll say neuro, as a child can say, but he'll do the sign for more. You can tell that it makes him feel good and that he enjoys it, and it makes him feel more himself. Well, I feel really strongly about what neurofeedback has done for me, especially going through a divorce while I was pregnant. It was such a time of mixed emotion. I had this enormous joy for this child that I was going to have and incredible sadness for a marriage that didn't work. It carried me through in a time that could have been really devastating. It really helped keep me positive and looking towards the future and the good that was coming into my world. In Hawaii, ohana means the extended family compound. It's not uncommon for generations to live together. Neurofeedback works like ohana because it connects people. It connects the whole family. The mothers, the fathers, the grandmothers, even the great-grandmothers. It makes the family work better together, sync better together. They're smoother around each other, so it makes them happier and work better together.
Right. All right. So here's the thing with Neurooptimal. You know, with this hack I showed you, it makes the system super, super affordable, like very economical. And this is especially true if you rent it with a group of friends or your family. So maybe you have a group of friends or people that you train with that would benefit with Neurooptimal. You know, you could share access to the device while you rent it, and everyone can get their hands on getting their brains optimized, essentially. But even if it's just you, renting makes Neurooptimal, you know, super, super accessible to anyone. So that's what secret number 3 is all about. So just as a recap, so we've been here for a little bit over an hour and cover the 3 secrets. Secret number 1, why Navy SEALs, NASA astronauts, and Olympic athletes are using neurofeedback to achieve states of hyperfocus. Secret number 2, how to train your mind to focus like a Tibetan monk in 11 hours or less using neurofeedback. It's 20 sessions of Neurooptimal. It's amazing. And secret number 3, how to gain access to a $10,000 neurofeedback machine for a fraction of the cost. Now, I gotta ask you a question. You know, we've been together for a little over an hour, and how many of you guys feel a little bit like this right now? I'm seeing the comments right now. Yeah, you guys are feeling super, super kind of overwhelmed. And I know it can feel overwhelming with everything that I kind of just threw at you. I just threw the kitchen sink at you for the past hour. But really, I want to make sure that you got the core concepts while we had a chance to be here together. But the reality is there's still a lot more that you can go with this. You know, there's a lot more that I can share with you guys. So I wanted to put together something special just to help you take this to the next level. And before I show you what this is, I want to ask permission, and if it's okay with you guys, I could share the special package we put together for all you guys today. So if you're okay with that, please let me know in the question box. Right. And okay with that. Pete's okay with that. Farhad's okay with it. All right, cool. So I like asking for permission first. I never want to assume that I've earned it or anything like that. So I always try to over deliver. And if you guys are okay with it, I'd love to share it. So the package we put together is called Neuroptimal Plus. And as the name implies, it's a special training system that I put together with the folks at Neuroptimal that you cannot find anywhere else but here. Because, you know, knowing this stuff is great, but if you don't actually implement it and get it done, you know, like what good is it, right? So what you're going to get when you invest in Neuroptimal Plus is the Neuroptimal Home Training System. So you're going to get 1 month unlimited access to the professional training system. So how many of you guys would love to use Neuroptimal for an entire month? If you want that, let me know over at the question box. Awesome. I think there's a few hundred people on right now, and it seems like all you guys want for the month. Sweet. So when you invest in the Neuroptimal Plus, we will ship you a Neuroptimal training system to your home. And like I mentioned earlier, it's dead simple to use. So if you're smart enough to watch this presentation, that you're smart enough to attach a few sensors to your head and run the program. So with the Neuroptimal professional training system, we're actually going to ship you a Windows 10 Microsoft Surface Book 2 to your house. You're going to get one Neuroptimal Z-Amp. So the Z-Amp, the amp, it takes the information from the sensors, it processes it, and then it shoots it out over to the software. So that's what the amp does. You're also going to get a set of solid silver sensors that you're going to place on your scalp when you use the system. You're going to get a carrying and protective sleeve for the system, and then you're going to get a conductive 1020 paste. So the 1020 paste is what actually you put on the sensors itself, and then that's what you stick on your head, and that's what helps it stick on your scalp. So, you know, what does this mean? That means that you can train your brain at the comfort of your own home. You know, you can run a session while you're laying in bed, and you can literally just roll over and go to sleep. Or you can run a session while you sit on the couch and you can watch TV and relax, or go on your phone and just sit there and just relax, basically. Now, remember how I said that 20 sessions was a sweet spot to get to see those tangible shifts? Well, you'll easily be able to get that many sessions in when you have this system for a whole month. You know, I recommend this to all of the people that go with Neuroptimal. You know, I recommend doing it daily when you get a chance. So that means you can have, at the very least, 30 sessions under your belt where the results will be amazing. Some people do more, like 50, 60 sessions, and they have even more amazing results. But at the very least, do it once a day. You'll get 30 sessions under your belt, and you'll see real shifts in your life. Now, Neuroptimal, like I said, the Pro system, it's sold for over $10,995. You know, it's not a cheap system to buy. But, you know, with our Neuroptimal Plus home training system, you know, you don't have to go out and get that expensive system. You can have access to this device for a whole month at a dramatically reduced rate. So what you're going to get is a Neuroptimal professional neurofeedback system for 1 month. It's a $10,995 value, and you get to use it unlimited for 4 weeks. Now, the second thing that you're going to get is our pre and post training evaluation. So when you sign up for Neuroptimal Plus, you're going to be sent an evaluation form, and that's something that we ask everyone to fill out before they start training. So why do we do this? Well, this will give you a gauge of where you're starting out at, and this will allow you to quantify the changes you'll see throughout the month. So let me tell you a story about Carrie. She's a Neuroptimal client, recently got the system, recently rented it, and she used the evaluation form. So when she received the system, she filled out the assessment, and one of the forms is a general symptom scan, and it lets us know about any symptoms that bothered you, in this case her, in the past week, and how much each symptom bothered her. Now, this is what happened. Over the month that she had with Neuroptimal, her main symptoms decreased by about 50%, which is amazing. Her overall cognitive function increased by over 44%, and her fatigue went down by 85%. In addition to this, her depression and her anxiety reduced sharply as well. So with this pre and post training evaluation that we offer, you're going to get a really great gauge of where you're starting out at, the progress that you've made throughout the month, and you know, you're going to get hard data that shows quantitatively how much you've progressed throughout the month. And at the end, you'll have this awesome final evaluation to see how far you've come throughout the 4 weeks. So what you're going to get with NeuroOptimal Plus is a NeuroOptimal Professional Neurofeedback System, a whole month of unlimited use, $10,995 value. You're also going to get pre and post training evaluation. That's a $297 value. That's a total value of $11,292. Okay, so you got the NeuroOptimal system. You have the pre and post training evaluation to gauge your results. What else do you need to be successful? Well, training. So the third thing you're going to get is our 4-week NeuroOptimal Advanced Training course. So if you're like me, when I was ready to invest in the system, I was a little bit intimidated. So I remember thoughts going through my head like, will I be able to use the software? What if I can't figure out how to attach the sensors? And am I going to be like all alone with this expensive device, etc.? So here's the thing, you won't have to worry about any of this, because with this training course, we're going to actually take you by the hand and walk you through everything you need to find success with NeuroOptimal. So we'll walk you through, with our super thorough, super detailed instructions on how to attach sensors, how to run the software, how to get just the most out of your training. And the training also, this course also has tips and tricks from current NeuroOptimal users, and you're going to get insiders only advice. And we also have an amazing masterclass with Dr. Valdeed Brown, who is actually the creator of NeuroOptimal. And you're going to learn a lot more about the science behind the system, about neurofeedback, and about just more of the technical, like amazing stuff that he put into the actual hardware. So you're going to love this training course. You're going to walk away from NeuroOptimal just being a master with the system. And that's exactly what I want for you with this training. We want you to master your brain, master your mind. And it's no surprise why some of the world's top performers have turned to this system. So, these are people like Scott Hawley, who's a Canadian PGA professional. He recently used NeuroOptimal to help with his training. And he said, NeuroOptimal took away my extra muscle tension, which allowed me to swing better. NeuroOptimal also cleared my mind, which helped in my decision making. There's a lot of potential in this for any golfer of any ability. Now you got people like Will Satch, who is an Olympic athlete. He is a rower for Team Great Britain, and he actually got a gold medal in the Olympic Games. And Will chose NeuroOptimal as he was looking for more focus and attention to help him stay in the zone during his competition. And here's a picture of him actually using NeuroOptimal. And then on top of that, I don't know if any of you guys are MMA, UFC fans out there, but Josh Bruckner, who MMA champion, he used NeuroOptimal to train before one of his big fights, and here's a picture of him using it before that fight. And I know it's a super fuzzy image, but yeah, that's Josh Bruckner, MMA champion. So yeah, that's awesome. So what you're going to get with this NeuroOptimal Plus system, you're going to get the NeuroOptimal Professional Neurofeedback System, 1 month, unlimited use, $10,995 value. You're going to get pre and post training evaluation, $297 value, and you're going to get 4 weeks of advanced NeuroOptimal training course, which is a $997 value, total value of $12,289. So what else do you guys need? You've got the NeuroOptimal technology, you got the 4-week training course. Like, what else do you guys need to be successful? So we want to give you everything that you guys need to be equipped with to find success. So we think that unlimited phone and email support is just that. So in addition to the 4-week advanced training course, we want to work with you on a more personal level. So we're offering an unlimited phone and email support throughout the full month. So that means within the month, within the 4 weeks, if you go through the training course and if you have any questions, so just reach out to us through email or phone, and we're going to be here for you. So if you don't know, if you can't figure out how to place the sensors on your head, or you're confused how to run the software, or literally any question that you can think of, just reach out to us and we'll be there to assist you. So we have an amazing support team, and their only job is to see your success with NeuroOptimal. Like, your success is our success. So if we need to set up a video call to see how you're setting up the sensors and walk you through how to set it up, we can do that. If for some reason you can't figure out how to use a Surface tablet that we sent you, we can set up a video call or a Skype audio chat to set that up with you. We're going to take you by the hand, guide you through how to use the system on a one-on-one level, whether that's through email or phone or video chat, whatever the case is. We're here for you during this time. We're not going anywhere. We've been in business for years, and we're here for your success. That's our #1 priority. So what you're going to get is the NeuroOptimal Professional Neurofeedback System, 1 month unlimited use. At the very least, you'll get 30 sessions in. I recommend getting 40, 50, 60 even, but that's a $10,995 value. You're going to get pre and post training evaluation. It's a $297 value. You're going to get 4 weeks of advanced NeuroOptimal training course, which is a $997 value. And you're going to get a 1 month unlimited phone and email support, which is a $497 value. It's a total value of $12,786. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be charging you $12,786, but I want to ask you a question, and this is important. Like, if I did charge you that much, and if all this training system did was finally get you focused, so you had that mental clarity to accomplish your career goals, your personal goals, your health goals, would it be worth it to you? Yeah, it would. If all this did was help you improve your sleep habits, your emotional resilience, your ability to handle stress at work or outside of work, to improve your cognitive performance, would it be worth it to you? The answer, of course, is yes. And if you could give those same benefits to every member of your family or your friends, for them to have that focus, that mental edge, that emotional resilience to accomplish their goals, would it be worth it to you? Of course it would. Now, when I was pricing this, I had 2 choices that I had to kind of decide between. The first choice was to go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible. But really the problem with that is it didn't really incentivize me to really, really stack on the value for you, which is key, right? So we decided to go with the second option, which is obviously it requires a little bit higher investment on your side. But the cool thing is, in exchange for that, we can devote a lot more resources to guarantee your success. Is that cool? So I want to ask you a question. Again, this is serious. I want to know, what do you think an upgraded brain is worth to you? What would be the impact on your life if your brain just performed better? If you were able to focus better, if you can handle stress better, if you were more creative, if your cognitive performance enhanced, what would it be worth to you if you could upgrade the brains of your family and your friends? $5,000, $10,000 more? How much would you pay to have your brain upgraded? Because at this point, and this is key, this isn't a cost. This is an investment. You're not spending money. You're investing it strategically. Now, you can see why some people are paying tens of thousands of dollars on neurofeedback, which, if this did just half of what I said today, it would be worth it. But again, it's not the cost, it's an investment. So you can see why this is a good deal at $5,000. And in the near future, we're actually going to be delivering this to the general public of our website for $19.97. But because you guys are here today, I want to give you a really, really special offer, because I know what this would do for your professional life, your personal life, your emotional life, your spiritual life. I need you guys to trust me and take action, because I know this will change your life. And because of that, we decided to give this entire system for just a single payment of $997 today. So right now, you've got 2 choices. Your first choice is to do nothing and take this leap of faith, which, as you know, it's 100% risk-free. You can do that. You can leave here today. You've got some great ideas. You can walk away from it and kind of use what you gained today. Now, the second option is to make this investment today compared to all the value you gain in return. Just give it a shot. See if this system will work for you. So the real question is this. So, is it worth gambling just a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which, again, even if it does even half of what I've claimed today on this training, it'll pay for itself within 11 hours of using it. Okay, so here's a recap of what you're going to get. You're going to get the NeuroOptimal Neurofeedback System, the professional system. That's 1 month unlimited use, $10,995 value. You're going to get the pre and post training evaluation. That's a $297 value. And you're going to get a 4-week advanced NeuroOptimal training course. That's a $997 value. And you're going to get 1 month unlimited phone and email support. Again, you need to get on a video call with us or an audio call. We're here for you. We're not going anywhere. That's a total value of $12,786. So as I just laid all this out to you, and I've told you, like, the system itself isn't cheap. Like, each of these NeuroOptimal devices, like, personally cost us over $10,000 to purchase. So, you know, we don't have an unlimited budget. So because of this constraint, we actually only have room for 50 people that want to invest in our training. So looking at the numbers here, looks like, you know, there's hundreds of you guys online right now. So, you know, if you want to go with NeuroOptimal Plus, you've got a really short window now. You know, the training is only available for the first 50 people that act, and it's only available for the action takers. So for those that are serious about making shifts and changing their lives. So the first 50 of you guys that invest in our training system will have access to NeuroOptimal Plus. And once those 50 people are locked in, you're not going to have access to our training program after that. So if you're an action taker, you know, if you're serious about changing your life, then invest in our system now and be one of the 50 people. So act fast before your spot gets taken. So here's what you need to do. Open up another browser, open up Chrome or Firefox, Safari, whatever it is that you use. Open up another browser and go to Warrior.do, D-O/go, Warrior.do/go. And when you go there, you're going to see an order form like this one. And what you're going to do is you're going to fill out that order form and you're going to be billed $9.97. And from there, we're going to send you a contract that essentially says that you will rent a NeuroOptimal system for us for 28 days. It's 4 weeks. And you'll have to send it back to us after that time. That's what this contract has in place. So once we receive that contract from you, we're going to ship the whole system out to you. So after you order, you'll have access to, you're going to also have access to our membership portal, where you'll have access to the advanced training, the assessment forms, and really everything else you need to see success with NeuroOptimal. Does that sound awesome? Sweet. So I'm already seeing right here, we already got some orders coming in, so I can tell that a lot of you guys are serious. So if you're on the fence and you're thinking, you know, what am I going to do? Now is the time. So open up another browser, go to Warrior.do/go, and start getting your training set up. Now, one really thing I want to bring up, which is pretty cool, and this isn't available to everyone, unfortunately, but we actually did a deal with PayPal where they're actually willing to finance this for some of you guys. So unfortunately, this isn't for everyone. They only do this for US-based customers, and you have to be subject for credit approval. But if you know you want this and you're a little nervous about paying the $1,000 up front, PayPal has an amazing financing option for you. So when you go to Warrior.do/go, if you choose the PayPal as your checkout option, it'll take you to PayPal, and they have this financing option that, you know, if you use that and you get approved for it, you'll actually have no interest and no payments for 6 full months, which is amazing. So that means you can go in there, you know, you can use NeuroOptimal, go through the training, get your sessions in, use the software, use the hardware, you know, essentially upgrade your brain, and you don't have to pay a penny for a full 6 months. So no payments, no interest, 6 full months, and after that, you got to start paying for it. But again, it's not for everyone. If you're in the US and you pass credit approval, which is actually only a few-minute process, and actually most people get it, but after that, you can use their financing. And again, all you have to do is go to Warrior.do/go. All right, guys, now is the time to make your decision. Now is the time to get started. One quick recap. You're going to get the NeuroOptimal Professional Neurofeedback System. That's 1 month, unlimited use. That's a $10,995 value. You're going to get that shipped, the system shipped to you. You can use it unlimited use for a whole 4 weeks. You're going to get pre and post training evaluation. That's a $297 value. You're going to get 4-week advanced NeuroOptimal training course. That's a $997 value. And you're going to get 1 month unlimited phone and email support. It's a $497 value. The total value of $12,786, but you get this entire package and so much more for a single payment of $997 today. But now is the time for you guys to open up another browser, go to Warrior.do/go, and get started right now. Again, this is only available for the first 50 people. So if you're serious about finally finding focus, upgrading your brain, finally getting that level of concentration that you're after, accomplishing your goals, then get in here before someone takes your spot. So as you go through this process, of ordering, there, every once in a while, there's a hiccup. Credit cards fail or some technical aspect of the website, some issue pops up. So if this is something that doesn't work out for you, or you have any issues today or in the future, all you have to do is go down here and email us at team@warrior.do and just reach out there. We have the most amazing support team on the planet. The entire goal of our team is to help you guys be successful with Neuroptimal. So if you have any questions today that I'm not able to answer, that some of the moderators here aren't able to answer, just email us and they'll be able to make sure you get set up. So if you get stuck for any reason, just know that we are here. We're here to help support you and to help serve you. And our support team, is here for any issue that comes up. But now is the time for you guys to go to warrior.do/go and get started. So what we're going to do right now is a little bit of questions and answers. And I got a lot of questions coming in. I got my support team answering some of the questions as quick as they can. Orders are coming in. Ben just said he signed up. Someone said I didn't get an email confirmation back. So if you didn't get the email confirmation, it might be delayed just a little bit. Get that sorted. All right. Rob just said, thanks, Tony. I just ordered the system. Awesome. Congratulations, Rob. He's asking, when should I be expecting the package to arrive? So again, congratulations. I'm so pumped for you to try out Neuroptimal. So we actually ship out the system the next day. So you should be, once we get the form signed by you, you should be receiving the package literally within like 2 to 3 business days. And the day that you receive the package is when your 1 month begins. And at the end of the month, we just ask you to send it back to us. Now, let's see. Ryan said, I got Neuroptimal Plus. Awesome, Ryan. Super pumped for you. Welcome in. Carolyn just asked, right, she just said, I just ordered the system. How do I get access to the advanced training? So, Carolyn, congratulations. So excited for you. So you should be emailed within the next few minutes, your login details, your members area, username, password. And from there, you're just going to have access to the online trainings just on our website, Warrior.do. Steve said, boom, I got Neuroptimal Plus. Awesome. Tim said, I'm in. Thanks, Tony. Sweet. Ryan asked, is this live? Yes, this is live. Wow, we got a lot of questions coming in. So I'm going to answer them as quick as I can. And if I don't get to your questions, just email us at team@warrior.do and they can help you out as well. But really don't let your questions stop you from getting locked in on one of the top 50 spots. Because right now, we still have spots open. So don't let that keep you guys from progressing. Go get your account. Go get signed up right now. And let us know your questions. We'll be here. We're not going anywhere. We've been in business for years, but don't let that keep you from signing up today. Let's see. Right. I have a question from Theo. He's asking, how long does these training sessions take? So great question, Theo. So each session takes, again, 33 and a half minutes long. So again, 33 and a half minutes long is each session, 20 sessions to really get that tangible results coming in. That's 11 hours. It's amazing. So, and with Neuroptimal Plus, you'll have unlimited number of sessions for the whole month. So you can use it to your heart's content. Right. Carl is asking, why do you only have room for 50 people? Okay, so thanks, Carl, by the way. So we have 50 units in our warehouse, and it's ready to be shipped out to you guys. Again, these systems aren't cheap, so that's why we have a really limited number of systems available to you guys. Like they're $10,000 a piece. So that's why it's essential for you guys to get into the top 50. And as of right now, it's kind of hard to count the numbers, but by eyeballing it, if we're not at 50 yet, we're not at 50 yet. So you guys are fine, but you gotta hurry. Now is the time to move forward. So go to warrior.do/go. All right. Farhat is asking, can I be on medication while doing neurofeedback training? Thanks, Farhat. So You can definitely still be on your medication while you do the training. Actually, over half of the people who start neurofeedback training are on some sort of medication. So there's no problem at all with that. Right. Ollie is asking, do you have a payment plan? So we don't have a payment plan, but you have a few options. So first thing is, again, if you can qualify for that PayPal financing, try that. But second thing, and it's kind of funny. So about 9 years ago, I wanted to buy this program that I couldn't afford, this personal development program. And I messaged the owner and I asked him if he had a payment plan. And he said, no, we don't offer one, but who does? Like Visa and MasterCard. And I remember sitting there, I was like, that never really crossed my mind. You can just pay Visa or MasterCard. They can finance it and you pay the monthly minimum payments every month, and they're essentially just financing it for you. And I was like, yeah, duh, of course. Like, why didn't I think of that before? So again, we don't offer a payment plan, but you can get one through Visa or MasterCard, and you can just use that, pay the monthly minimums, and yeah, that'll be kind of like your payment plan. Now, let's see. Val is asking, will the improvements last? Let's see. Yeah, so Val's asking, will improvements last? So the changes with Neuroptimal, they're long lasting. So Neuroptimal, if you think about it, it's kind of like a fitness training program in the sense that you can't just go to the gym once or twice and then have like a six-pack and never go back and to expect the same like fitness level. So neurofeedback is most effective when you get topped up every once in a while. So for some, this is like an annual session they do. For others, it could be quarterly. Other people top up, right before a big exam or presentation or whenever they need to be like mentally on. So it's really up to you. So your improvement will last over time, and especially when you fit it in with a training session once, maybe twice a year. All right, Colleen said she's in. Congratulations, Colleen, super pumped for you. Carla is asking, is Neuroptimal safe to use? Thanks, Carla. So yes, Neuroptimal is 100% safe. It's, like I was saying earlier, it's non-invasive. It doesn't have any side effects. Anyone can use it. Literally anyone with a brain can benefit from it. With Neuroptimal, nothing's actually added to your brain. It's simply giving your brain information about what it's just done. And the brain uses this to just reorganize itself. So it's 100% safe. Right. Sital is asking, I'm planning on getting Neuroptimal Plus for me and my son, who is 7 years old. Is there a minimum age for neurofeedback training? Okay, thanks, Sital. So there isn't an age requirement or an age limit for that matter to use neurofeedback training. So I've seen parents use it on their 4-year-old kid, like we showed in that video, and I've seen people in their 70s and 80s use it, and everywhere in between. So neurofeedback, it's super safe, it's natural, so anyone of all ages can use it. All right, I'm seeing, am I one of the top 50? Okay, let me check my stats. 10, 20. So it looks like we still have spots, which is surprising, but this is good for you guys. There is some time left, so if you're not in yet, you still have a chance to be in the top 50, but you gotta move fast. Like if you're on the fence, now's the time to go. I don't know why some of you guys are hesitating, but now is the time to go to Warrior.do/go and get started. Now, Trish is asking, do I need a QEEG or brain map to do Neuroptimal? Okay, great question, Trish, thanks. So traditional neurofeedback, it's been around for like over 50 years. And most traditional neurofeedback approaches, they'll have you wear like a cap, and this cap's fitted with a number of sensors. And they map the electrical activity of all the different areas of your brain. And the neurofeedback trainer, what they'll do is they'll look at the map of your brain, and then they'll pinpoint where areas of your brain needs to be corrected. And they'll do the neurofeedback training in those specific areas, and they'll try to correct and look, have that part of your brain look more like a healthy brain. So this is what most neurofeedback training offers. And to me, there's a number of problems with this approach. So first, brain maps are super expensive. You can have up to 256 different sensors hooked up to your scalp with this assessment, and it's not cheap. Also, you need to get a few of these brain maps done with your training, so that cost adds up. Secondly, sometimes with this traditional approach, it actually leads to some unwanted side effects. So for example, I've seen people who have gone down this like traditional approach to help with something like depression. And they'll do a few sessions, their depression symptoms die down. It's great, but there's a catch. Like the depression goes down, but something like anxiety rises to the surface. Now, if you're working with a really skilled technician, they're able to course correct throughout the training to maximize the positive results and minimize the side effects, but this isn't always the case. Thirdly, with brain maps, what's essentially happening is when they create a map of your brain, they compare that map with the results of an average person out there, the average population. And then they try to make your brain mimic the activity of essentially an average person. But the thing is, who wants to be average? If you think about it, if you have a suboptimal ability to focus, your goal is not to have just an average ability to focus. If you're an F student, your goal isn't to become like a C student. I don't know about you, but that's not what my end goal was. And most people don't want those just average results. If you're forking out all this time and energy and money to improve focus, you want your results to be better than average. So, there's a number of reasons why, at the end of the day, I'm not thrilled with the traditional neurofeedback approach. And with Neurooptimal, since it's not actually fixing the brain in any way, like a brain map isn't necessary. So Neurooptimal is just providing your brain with information it needs to correct itself. So again, a QEEG, otherwise known as a brain map, it's not necessary. Now, Aaron is asking, will it hurt? Does it zap me? Great question, Aaron. So you will definitely not be hurt. So it's actually quite the opposite. The sessions are super relaxing. They're painless. Some people fall asleep during a session. Some people meditate. Other people do it right before bed. So, short answer is no. You're not going to be feeling any pain. Let's see, Ashley's saying, I'm in, but why do I see a charge coming from Gold Coaster Incorporated? Congratulations, Ashley. I'm super, super pumped for you. So Gold Coaster Incorporated is the name of our company on paper, which is why you're seeing that on your credit card statement. So that's definitely from us, and that's definitely what you should be seeing. So everything's all good. So yes, thanks, Ashley. Right. Stan just asked, how do I know I'm in the top 50? Stan, if you got an email right now, then you are in the top 50. All right. Yuri is asking, how long does it take to work? Thanks for your question, Yuri. So sometimes, like I was saying, I see people who get results within one session. Some people don't feel much after the first session, but most people will see some tiny shift within the first session. 5 to 10 sessions is when the rubber hits the road and you'll start seeing some noticeable positive changes. You'll be able to think quicker, focus better, less mental fog, etc. And then around 20 sessions is where you really, really start to see the difference. So with Neurooptimal Plus, you'll have it for a whole month, right? So again, my recommendation is do it every day that you have it. So you can squeeze at least 30 sessions in, and that's more than enough to see a major difference in your focus and your cognitive performance. So I hope that answers your question. All right. Craig is asking, will Neurooptimal change my personality? So Neurooptimal will definitely not change your personality. It might make you more calm or more resilient to stress or more clear-headed, but no, it will definitely not change who you are. So things like your hobbies and your interests, that will not be changed. Eben is asking, I want Neurooptimal Plus, but I can't afford the $997 right now. Thanks, Eben. Great question. So, it's okay if you can't afford it right now. There's a couple of things. Again, if you're in the US and you try to apply for the PayPal financing option, that's one option that you have. But get creative. Like find someone who can help you with this. If you have Visa or MasterCard, have them finance it for you. Really, you just have to be creative and just ask yourself how you can do this, and then from that state, normally the answers will come. But just be creative. There's tons of different ways you can do this. Now, Felicia is asking, do you offer support if we get stuck? Yes, like absolutely, we offer support. So again, we have the most amazing support team on the planet. Like you will know that if you talk to them for just like a few minutes. So you're going to be blown away with the quality of the people that we have in our team. They're amazing. And if you email us at team@warrior.do, they're here to help you. So hope that answers your question, Felicia. Wow. Okay. So we still got literally hundreds of people on this call. Wow. So, but now is the time to get started, guys. Go to warrior.do/go, get started. I'm going to keep on answering questions here from you guys, but don't let your question hold you back from getting started. We'll answer your question, and if you don't get answered live here, then email us at team@warrior.do, and we'll be sure to get your question answered, because we care about you guys. Your success is our success, and it is for the long run as well. Now, let's see. Am I one of the top 50? We are getting closer to the end, but yes, there are a few spots left. They're going super fast, you guys, so I wouldn't hesitate any longer. So go to warrior.do/go and get started. Get your spot locked in. Casey is asking, how difficult is it to learn to run the session? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so like I was saying, the folks at Neuroptimal, they've made it like super simple. So we'll have training videos for you. Support's here, but when you go through the videos, it takes 15 minutes to learn and get started. And then when you actually have the system with you, there's only really 3 items in the system. So there's the tablet, like I said, the amplifier, and then the sensors. And those are the main components. That's it. And there's only, like when you open the software up on the computer, there's only 3 buttons you need to press on the computer. So, learning to place the sensors, really easy. Learning to do the software, really easy. You'll be able to learn it in minutes. So, kids run the sessions. It's really, really simple. All right. Dominic is asking, do I need anything when I'm in the session? So, thanks, Dominic. So you don't need anything during your session. So all you have to do, literally just sit there and listen to the music. So again, when your brain is about to switch to a disordered state in any way, the music will pause. And then from there, your subconscious automatically detects this, and it just self-corrects. It's so clever how they created the system. And it just self-corrects in order to get into a more healthy state of presence. So again, it's all done under the radar. So all you have to do is listen to the music. It's super easy, super simple. All right. Amy just said, I just signed up. Awesome. Do I need to prepare for training before I receive the system? First off, congratulations, Amy. Super excited for you. But no, there isn't any special prep that you need to do. Once the system arrives at your home, you can literally just start the training from there. So there's no preparation needed. Right. Am I one of the top 50? So that the question keeps coming up. So, some of you guys are on the fence waiting for some reason. So, it's time to stop waiting. It's time to go. Go to warrior.do/go to get started. Right. Leonard said, I'm in. What's next? Thanks, Leonard. Awesome. So in the next few minutes, you're going to receive a few emails. You're going to receive your receipt. You're going to receive a rental agreement that we talked about that we need you to sign before we ship it out to you. And you're going to receive login credentials to the members portal where you're going to start your training course. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so Javier said, I'm in, super excited to get started, but what happens after my month of training? So, after the period of your training, after the month, it's actually a really important time. So, during the month of training, you've made all these new neural connections in your brain, and it's really important to solidify those connections while in the weeks following your training. We're going to cover this in the training course when you get the system, but I suggest after the month of your training, just really take some quiet time, take it easy to really just integrate the changes that you just made. Whether this be like yoga or meditation or just sipping on tea and listening to music, but just take it easy during the weeks after your training. But I definitely suggest not drinking or using alcohol for the few weeks after your session, because those can really hinder those neural connections that just got made. But yeah, definitely take it easy after the training. But I hope this helps clarify things, Javier. Zara is asking, can neurofeedback complement other therapy? Yes, definitely. So if you want to use neurofeedback in combination with like a therapist or a tutor or a coach or even like a nutritionist, they definitely complement each other. So that's definitely something that you don't have to worry about. Maria is asking, is this approved by the FDA? So yes, definitely. So the FDA has approved neurofeedback for relaxation training. And on top of this, the American Pediatric Academy has endorsed neurofeedback as best practice for the treatment of ADHD and ADD, which, as you know, is linked to focus, concentration, etc. So neurofeedback is definitely approved by all the major bodies, so you don't have to worry about any of that with NeuroOptimal. Brian is asking, who uses NeuroOptimal training most frequently? Thanks, Brian. So it's really all over the board. So like artists use it to enhance creativity. You got like athletes using it to help with focus during their competitions. Like business people will use it to increase their mental performance. And I've seen like office managers use it. And actually a huge portion of NeuroOptimal users are actually kids. Like a lot of kids have trouble focusing, and moms as well use it for the stress that they're under with parenting. So it's really all over the board. So I hope that answers your question. Now, let's see. Faye's asking about in the top 50. Yes, Faye, you're in the top 50. Congratulations. Cynthia said, I'm one of the top 50. Congratulations, Cynthia. This is awesome. Bonnie's that says, thanks, Tony. I intend to be your next success story. Bonnie, thank you so much. I love seeing comments like that. And if you follow the system, it just works. So I promise you guys, Bonnie, I hope, I'm super pumped for you. And I know this is going to be an amazing month for you in the next few weeks. So let's see. Mary's asking my top 50. Yes, you're in the top 50, Mary. Congratulations. Vilma says, yes, Vilma, you are in the top 50. Congratulations. Right. Lena is asking, all right. Lena is asking, outside of focus, what else does NeuroOptimal help with? Thanks, Lena. So NeuroOptimal is amazing at focus. Like there's a few like low-hanging fruit with neurofeedback, and one of those is like with helping with focus. It's really, really good with that. But but there's other benefits people see from the training. Some people, one of the first improvements people see is actually the quality of their sleep improves. A lot of people report having more vivid dreams, but like I said, around 5 to 10 sessions in, users, they're talking about they're feeling more calm, they're feeling more centered, they're more productive, their mental performance improves. So yes, NeuroOptimal is incredible at enhancing focus, but there are so many other benefits that you might see as well. All right, so you guys, we're getting towards the end here. NetScriber asks if he's in the top 50. Yes, you are in the top 50. Congratulations. Now, Tim is asking, can NeuroOptimal help my meditation practice? Thanks, Tim. Yes, absolutely, it can help. And that's one of the reasons I personally got into neurofeedback in the first place. So as any of you have tried meditation, you know how difficult it can be to focus the mind on something like simple as the breath. After NeuroOptimal training, you might notice that it becomes a lot easier to do this because your focus, again, it's like a muscle. And this muscle will have dramatically improved in the month during your training. So, you'll find that your mind is just naturally quieter. You'll find that it's much easier to just dive into deep meditative states like fairly quickly, fairly reliably. And this is especially true if you're already into meditation. It supercharges each other. Getting into these deep states of meditation, it's much, much faster, much easier to drop into after neurofeedback training. All right. Katrina is asking, can my thoughts be read or even influenced during neurofeedback? Thanks, Katrina. Definitely not. So neurooptimal training, it definitely does not read or influence your thoughts in any way. The electrodes, like we were saying, it just measures the electrical activity from your brain. So nothing is actually sent to your brain. So nothing is actually influenced from the outside. So I hope this clarifies things, Katrina, but definitely no, we're not going to be reading your thoughts or influencing you with this. All right. Rohit said he's in the top 50. Awesome. Catherine's in the top 50. Congratulations. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys being on this webinar. We're almost about 2 hours now. I hope you guys had an awesome time. I hope you guys got a lot of ideas. If you're not able to get started for some reason, I hope you guys can. Because I promise you, all the value that you'll get with this training, it will change your life. But for whatever reason you can't get started right now, it's okay. But just as a recap, here's what you're going to get when you sign up today. You're going to get the NeuroOptimal Professional Neurofeedback System. That's 1 month, unlimited training, 10,995 value. You're going to get pre and post training evaluation. That's a $297 value. You're going to get 4 weeks of advanced neurooptimal training, a whole course we put together. It's $997 value. And you're going to get 1 month of unlimited phone and email support. That's a $497 value. Total value of $12,786. And you get it today for a single payment of $997. Now, for those of you guys that stayed until the end, after this webinar, I'll be emailing you guys a link probably later on today with a direct link to the brainwave entrainment track that we talked about in the beginning of this presentation that'll help you focus. And that's a special thanks from us just for being on the webinar today. And I hope you guys have learned a lot. I hope you guys can see that this process is possible. The people that have had their lives changed with neurofeedback training, with NeuroOptimal, were probably just as unfocused as you are, had just as much brain fog as you have right now. But, they followed through with this and their lives changed. And, they can finally concentrate, finally focus. They have that mental clarity. They're thinking sharper. They have more resilience to stress and things like that. And they're just feeling like just freaking good about themselves. So, we got less than a minute left, guys. Just to recap, to get started, I know you have seeing right here, we still got a couple of spots left in the top 50, so now is the time to go. Go to Warrior.do/go, get your account set up. When you do, you're going to get access to a whole month of neurofeedback training with NeuroOptimal. You're going to get pre and post training evaluation. You're going to get NeuroOptimal advanced training course that we put together, and we're going to get 30 days of unlimited phone and email support. That's a total value $12,786. You get it today for just one single payment of $997 today. Now, if you have any questions that come up that I haven't been able to answer, just email us at team@warrior.do. And my team is here. They're here to answer your questions. We'll leave the chat box on for a few more minutes for you guys, and we'll try to answer any last questions that you guys have here. But now is the time to go, you guys. No longer can you delay. Open up another browser, go to Warrior.do/go, and I promise this will change your life. But you got to take this first leap of faith. Again, my name is Tony Baldwin, and I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I appreciate you guys, and I really look forward to working with you guys in the future. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.